story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Frank Omanape and here are some of the stories we're filing at this time. The former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Okewale, who was kidnapped about 2 weeks ago, has been released by his abductors. NBA President Augustine Alegas said in a statement on Thursday night that his predecessor was released at about 11 p.m. on Thursday after 13 days in captivity. He, however, did not provide details of how Wale was freed or whether ransom was paid to secure his release. The race for Lagos Government House in 2015 is becoming increasingly interesting by the day. The latest to join the list of aspirants on the platform of the All Progressive Congress is Akinwumi Ambode, who officially declared his interest at the Unico Stadium in Lagos on Friday. Our correspondent Oluwaseyi Adegoke was there and her report is presented from
The stadium was filled to capacity as politicians on the platform of the APC and party supporters as well as friends and family members of Akinwumi Ambode thronged the stadium for his official declaration. The governorship aspirant says he has all it takes to govern Lagos.
I acknowledge the presence of all our party leaders, our party members and fellow Lagosians. We have received from every corner of the state and beyond, from all sectors and various religious persuasions, confirm that this is a divine moment in the history of Lagos State. In recognition of this support, I, Akinwumi Ambode, in your presence and in the presence of God, formally put myself forward to run for the position of the governor of Lagos State.
A chieftain of the party in the state, Tunde Temiomo, and the director of publicity, Ambode campaign organization, Idowu Ajanaku, says the governorship aspirant is the right choice for the position.
Well, like we have heard, he had worked for Lagos State for 27 years. And throughout his period of working for Lagos State, he did very well. So one would expect that he can only do better when he comes in as governor. He knows Lagos inside out. He's a man with a wealth of experience who is a bridge builder between the elite and the grassroots. This is a man Lagosian needs at this time to bid on the achievement of Governor Babatope Fajola.
The governorship aspirant vows never to lose focus of the giant strides of the APC in Lagos State if he eventually fulfilled his dream.
A date has been set for President Goodluck Jonathan to publicly declare his intention to seek a second term in office. It is Tuesday, November 11. This decision was taken at the inaugural meeting of the Presidential Declaration Committee at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa. Committee Chairman Hanley Rubello noted that although a date has been fixed, the venue has not been decided.
We have agreed on the date. The declaration will be on the 11th of November, on Tuesday. We have not yet decided on the venue, but we will decide at our next meeting. And we hope, like every other Nigerian who has asked Jonathan to come out and declare, when we come on Tuesday, 11th November, the president will come and face the people of Nigeria and say yes to their request. And a venue and a platform for the president to meet the people of Nigeria and respond to their yearnings that he should contest. If he says yes, then it is yes. If he says no, then it is.
While one of the members of the Presidential Declaration Team, Governor Ibrahim Shemal of Katsina State, has revealed that arrangements are on ground to ensure a hitch-free on November 11. He told State House correspondent on the sidelines of the team's inaugural meeting that a number of subcommittees are already in place.
Yes, committees have been, the committee has been set up, inaugurated yesterday, and subcommittees have been established today, and more work will continue into putting effect to the decisions of this main committee. We have a maximum period of 2 weeks to complete what we are doing, starting from yesterday.
Beg your pardon there. A few days after he urged former head of state Ibrahim Muhammad to step down for a younger opposition candidate, renowned Islamic cleric Ahmad Gumi has asked President Goodluck Jonathan to drop his re-election bid. In an open letter similar to the one he wrote, Buhari Gumi argued that Jonathan has failed as a leader. In the letter posted on his Facebook page, Gumi described the president as a divisive figure in the country who has polarized Nigeria along religious lines. He added that a Jonathan presidency beyond May 2015 will spell trouble for Nigeria because of the impression that he is negatively involved in the Boko Haram saga. Gumi backed his argument with the content of the controversial letter written by former President Olusegun Obasanjo to Jonathan. And now a religious group, the Joint Muslim Forum, has dismissed the recent court ruling which upheld the position of the Lagos state government on the ban of hijab in public schools. The group, in addition, has threatened to boycott the 2015 general elections if the ruling stays. Our correspondent Anita Fatuji was at the media briefing by the group and files in this report.
The Joint Muslim Forum expressed displeasure over the ruling, describing it as illogical, inexplicable and a miscarriage of justice.
What the Muslims are demanding in the issue of hijab is the Allah-given fundamental human rights. They are not asking anyone to put hijab on Christian pupils. They want to dress the way the Quran commands them. Freedom of religion is one of the civil liberties enjoyed in a civil society. Lagos should not deny this religious right.
In what appears as obvious threat, the group says its members will use what they have to get what they want.
Election fever has gripped politicians as we draw near February 2015. We have resolved to give our votes to any candidate from any political party who is ready to grant us religious freedom. We will vote for those who will approve the use of hijab in schools, no matter what their political affiliations are. This suffering is too much. Lagos State government treats Muslims with disdain. Enough is enough. Our slogan for 2015 is therefore no hijab, no votes.
Even at the national level, Muslims don't have a president they can trust. A president who can assure them that there will be justice. Justice will be done. This president promised justice. He never went to justice. There's no justice in Asura. Just as today, there is no justice in Alausa.
The group urged the Lagos government to promote religious harmony in the state.
Hijab must be allowed in schools and workplaces, including hospitals. Morning assembly prayers in school must be standardized and not left to the whims and caprices of the head teacher or principal. Arabic and Islamic religious knowledge teachers must be employed to teach the subjects in schools. Muslim science students should not be prevented from taking Islamic studies. Hijrah holiday must be declared just like is done in Osun State. Corona law must be amended to allow Muslims to claim their corpses for burial without delay.
Members of the group, however, dispel the notion that they are hell-bent on pursuing a political agenda. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
You're watching CoreTV News, reaching you live from our Lagos studio. We'll take a break now. We'll be back shortly with more stories. Join us again.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce someone special here tonight whose understanding, knowledge, and support has truly made our juice company prosper.
I wonder what goes into making this.
You'd be amazed. It often starts from the farm, where fresh fruits are grown and carefully sorted, and straight on to the factory, where they are pressed, processed, and packaged. Then off they go again, this time to large distributors like you, and retail shops, where people buy and pay with ease.
You seem to know quite a lot about this. You work for the juice company then?
I suppose I do.
Please join me in welcoming our business banking service partner, Stanbic IBTC Bank, to partnerships that move us forward. Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
In case you're just joining us, this is CoreTV News at 7, reaching you live from our Lagos studio. The brief battle between the governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayoshi, and his predecessor, Kayode Fayemi, has continued unchecked as the two remain at each other's neck. The bone of contention this time is the multi-millionaire new government house completed and commissioned at the tail end of the Fayemi administration. Our correspondent Rashid reports that the war of words between the two is not about to end soon. The report.
Fayoshi's team, at an earlier inspection of the new government house, reveals their findings on the cost of the villa to the public.
Out of this world luxuries provided with 3.3 billion borrowed fund, market borrowed fund for Fayemi and his wife and children, and will not weep for the state and its people.
But are there more that meet the eyes?
Before now, the past governor had intention of buying an helicopter. That is why an helipad was put on Okeayoba, so that anytime he comes to Ado, he just flies straight to that place. The idea was to separate himself from all of us completely. He does not want to see us. We are not important to him. Unfortunately, people of this state refuse to let him have his way.
So, what will the Fayoshi administration do with the new government house?
There are plans to see how that place can be put into better use. We'll see but it is almost certain that there's nothing anybody can do about that place. And that is why we also want to let the public know that why must we put the state into this kind of situation, put the state into debt just to put this kind of facility.
The man in the eye of the storm, Kayode Fayemi, would however not let slip the opportunity to defend his action.
What there to react to such frivolous allegations? It's a joke. The guy is an alawada, and I think Nigerians really need to ask for a psychiatric test for anyone who is going into such an esteemed office.
Observers believe that a popular saying that it is the grass that suffers when two elephants fight captures the raging issue even as Ekiti citizens wait to see the implication for their well-being. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
And now the Nigeria Governors Forum, led by the Plateau State Governor, Jonah Jang, has rejected the position of the National Assembly and autonomy for local governments. He also hinted that the State House of Assemblies will reject the amendment to the Constitution by the time it is sent to them. The forum said in a statement that state lawmakers will be mobilized to vote against the provision, which is designed to provide independent funding for the councils as well as insulate them from undue interference from state governments. The governors also accused some unnamed members of the National Assembly by using the conference committee to force through an amendment that was rejected by the Senate during the Constitution amendment debates. President Goodluck Jonathan says most of the allegations of human rights abuse leveled against Nigeria's security forces were exaggerated. He also told participants at an international workshop on civil-military cooperation in internal security operations in Abuja that efforts are on to review the use of military fatigue. President Jonathan pledged that any suspected case of abuse will be thoroughly investigated, but wants the human rights community to show more understanding.
It's a gathering of security operatives across the world on the need for effective civil-military cooperation during internal security operations. The three-day workshop is in line with the soft approach the Nigerian government says it is adopting in its counter-insurgency operation. But President Jonathan also used the opportunity to speak for the first time on allegations of human rights abuse leveled against troops at the front line.
I'm not saying there are no issues. There are issues. We are dealing with the issues. But the soldiers themselves need to be protected. They are also humans. They also have rights. And sometimes people, for some mischievous reasons, intend to blackmail government and blackmail the security services.
He appears convinced that Nigerian soldiers could not have carried out some of the abuses attributed to them and voiced his concerns about manipulation.
The use of the military camouflage, and that is why we are even trying to see how I know we discussed that we must review use of military camouflage and fatigue dresses by military and paramilitary agencies. And people who are supposed not to use them are using them. And people like the interests in society are so complex now for very reasons sometimes you don't even know. And with the social media and the power of manipulation using the computer, it's so powerful that there's a lot of deception going on.
For his part, the National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki explained that the workshop is a confidence-building measure in line with government's approach to ongoing operations.
We have been making concerted efforts to correct the current impression that our security forces are involved in widespread acts of human rights abuse, which is also condoned by government. We will all recall that we recently hosted an international conference on the observance of human rights, which was attended by the Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Fatou Bensouda, and other international human rights luminaries. That event reinforced our commitment to attaining zero tolerance for human rights abuses for our security forces.
Also speaking at the event, former head of state Abdusalami Abubakar expressed a need for the authorities to take human rights issues seriously.
It is pertinent to note that the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies take the issue of human rights seriously. Hence, the training curricula in all our military training establishments, both at the basic, intermediate, or strategic level training, include a component on human rights.
The Nigerian authorities say they are keen on ensuring that civil-military cooperation in theater of operation are cordial, in line with international best practices.
The European Union has commended a soft approach the Nigerian authorities have adopted in addressing insurgency in the northeast of the country. EU head of delegation Michel Arian said this at the opening of the three-day international workshop on civil-military cooperation in Abuja.
Civil-military cooperation can offer a relevant framework for the promotion of human rights when armed forces are interacting with local populations. The human rights component of the project funded by the European Union, which aims to improve such interaction, is also relevant for the operations against terrorism and insurgency in populated areas in Nigeria. For this reason, the main security agencies, the three armed forces, the police force and the Department of State Security, are involved in its implementation. It is important to say that this project, proposing a complementary approach to the traditional conduct of counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations, is one among the very few projects of this nature being implemented in Africa. I wish to congratulate the Nigerian authorities and armed forces for being part of this remarkable development. We are delighted to see the direct and dedicated involvement of so many Nigerian offices in the project at national level. This three-day workshop offers the great opportunity to engage with a number of European and international experts and to exchange experience from other civil-military operations in a complex environment and counter-terrorism operations in other African countries, as well as in the Middle East.
You're watching CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a break. We'll be back shortly with more stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce someone special here tonight whose understanding, knowledge, and support has truly made our juice company prosper.
I wonder what goes into making this.
You'd be amazed. It often starts from the farm, where fresh fruits are grown and carefully sorted, and straight on to the factory, where they are pressed, processed, and packaged. Then off they go again, this time to large distributors like you, and retail shops, where people buy and pay with ease.
You seem to know quite a lot about this. You work for the juice company then?
I suppose I do.
Please join me in welcoming our business banking service partner, Stanbic IBTC Bank, to partnerships that move us forward. Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
Glad to have you back now. If you're just joining us, this is CoreTV News at 7, reaching you live from our Lagos studio. Now, ECOWAS Commission has formally commended Nigeria and Senegal for their exemplary response to the Ebola outbreak, which has resulted in the World Health Organization declaring the two countries free of the disease. Although Senegal was the first to be given a clean bill of health after reporting one solitary case, the sub-regional body described Nigeria's case as remarkable. In a message of solidarity, the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Kadri Drago, expressed confidence that their initiatives and experiences will serve as a model to the rest of the world in dealing with the disease. He added that Nigeria and Senegal have proved that an internal solution to humanitarian emergency are possible within the ECOWAS region with the support and collaboration of the international community. Well, and that will be a wrap on CoreTV News at 7. Many thanks for watching. Don't forget, join us at 9:45 for more news stories. Bye for now.